I think there are different kinds or different shades of rejection that you go through. Like at that age, I had not gone through so much of the social maybe turbulence that people go through in high school. So I really did have to catch up on that in college. However, I think professionally, I did get a very thick skin very quickly. I remember, early on, just the scrutiny we all came under on the show at 12, 13, 14 years old, which is a pretty fragile time in people's development anyway. As you well know, at that age, people are kind of learning about themselves and making friends. And by 15, 16, they're thinking about relationships. They're going through the first, Valentine's Day breakup on the high school quad. What I hear. I mean, I wasn't there, but this is
you were working.
So I didn't have that, but then there were things that I was exposed to that ended up preparing me really well for a lot of rejection. For instance, there were plenty of auditions. If I was doing 1 out of 8, that meant 7 out of 8. The answer was no. And very often those were roles that I really wanted, right? Like I wasn't just auditioning for whatever I could audition for. I mean, these were things I wanted to be a part of. And I remember several instances where there were roles that I was just like madly, madly in love with for characters that I wanted to play. And I was devastated when it didn't work out. Devastated at 13, 14, 15. I had a TV show that I wrote and sold to a network, which we developed for a year, that they had bought the concept. And then when it came time to allocate a budget for a pilot, it came down to my show or one other show. And they went with the one other show because it had a pretty A-list creator who was an actor that if I said the name, we would all know, who was producing the show. So that was extremely painful because at 13 or 14, I thought I was going to develop and then star in my own series that I had come up with.
It's huge disappointment.
Devastating. I mean, really, at that age, it's devastating, and it took me probably 12, 16, 18 months, to recover. That was actually a pivotal experience. And coming back from that, when I look back on it, probably set the stage for so much of my future development as a young professional, because of that loss, I decided that I wanted to go into the food space because this was a big passion of mine, was cooking. And I thought, well, if the show didn't go, I want to come up with something to do when I'm not on set. And I was going to be focused on the show. But since that didn't happen, I decided to create this blog. And that became a huge focus for me. And I became very entrenched in food and health for young people. And that led to journalism.